times throughout the night. And I think each time it was about dreams. But this time I woke up from an odd dream. It's about monsters. Well, it wasn't about monsters. It's about some kind of demons or something on the earth. And they were going to certain people. They were able to get to certain people. But then I think, why did I have a dream? Good morning. Yeah, Grand Rising. Good morning. Why did I have a dream? What about this dream? And then I thought, well, people have been having vivid dreams. And then it was brought to my mind of Joseph was brought to Pharaoh to interpret his dream. You have to ask yourself, why does the Bible specifically mention dreams? Dreams. And an interpreter of dreams, if there wasn't something to dreams. So I was going to read from my laptop. I was going to pull out that thing from my laptop. I thought, no, I'm going to get this old Bible out. This is more fitting. So I'm going to get this old Bible out. And it is kind of tattered because it's very, very fragile. So I want to go to it. I do, you all. If you're just tuning in, if I can find it. I think it's around Genesis 41. If I can find Pharaoh's dream. But this is, it's awoken. I know it's kind of strange to see me on here, but there's something to do with the dreams. There's something going on. Okay, we're going to read it. We're going to read of Pharaoh having his dreams, you all. We're going to do it. I hope I can get this on here good enough. Let me turn up this light right here. Because you all been having dreams too. Everybody's been having strange dreams. So let's see if we can get this, even though it's like on this one side of the page. Can you hear me? I want to make sure you hear me. Good morning, you all. This is in Genesis. See if I can get it. And this is from the 1611 on this side, authorized version, and then the revised version of 1885 on this side. It's Genesis. And it came to pass, Genesis 41, and it came to pass at the end of the 2 full years that Pharaoh dreamed, because Joseph has been thrown in like prison. Pharaoh dreamed, and beheld, he stood by the river. Let me read it from this side. Let me see this. Okay, I got more light right here. It's more flat. And it came to pass at the end of the 2 full years that Pharaoh dreamed, and behold, he stood by the river. And behold, there came up out of the river 7 well-favored kine and fat shed, and they fed in a meadow. And behold, 7 other kine. So when they say kine, what is kine? See, I don't know what the kine means. I think they said calves. No, I guess they're calves. I guess they're kine. I'm going to use the word kine, you all. See, this is why I read from certain different versions, because I don't know what a kine is, K-I-N-E. But I'll read it how they got it in this, the oldest one that we got. K-I-N-E, like fat calves, like cows or something like that. Yeah. Well, we'll read the words that they got into it. We could have some Mandela going on. And it came to pass, where we at, you all? He went out, and behold, there came up out of the river 7 well-favored kine and fat shed, and they fed in a meadow. And behold, 7 other kine came up after them out of the river. ill-favored and lean shed, and stood by the other kine upon the brink of the river. And the ill-favored and lean-shed kine did eat up the 7 well-favored and fat kine. So Pharaoh awoke, and he slept, and he dreamed the second time. And behold, 7 ears of corn came up on one stalk, rank and good. And behold, 7 thin airs, and blasted with the east wind, sprang up after them. And the 7 thin ears devoured the 7 rank and full ears. And Pharaoh awoke, and behold, it was a dream. And it came to pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled. He had this dream at night, and his spirit is troubled. And he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt and all the wise men thereof. And Pharaoh told them his dream, but there was none that could interpret them unto Pharaoh. Then spake the chief butler unto Pharaoh, saying, I do remember my faults this day. Pharaoh was wroth with his servants, and put me in the ward in the captain of the guard's house, both me and the chief baker. And we dreamed a dream in one night, I and he, and we dreamed each man according to the interpretation of his dream. And there was with us a young man, a Hebrew, servant of the captain of the guard, and we told him, and he interpreted to us our dreams. To each man according to his dreams he did interpret. And it came to pass, as he interpreted to us, so it was. And he restored unto mine office, and him he hanged. Then Pharaoh sent and called for Joseph, and brought him hastily out of the dungeon. And he showed himself, and shaved himself, and changed his raiment, and came unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is none that can interpret it. And I have heard say of thee, that if thou canst understand a dream, to interpret it. And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, It is not in me. God shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, In my dream, behold, I stood upon the bank of the river, and behold, there come up out of the river 7 kines, fat-fleshed and well-favored, and they fed in a meadow. And behold, 7 other kine came up after them, poor and very ill-favored, and lean-fleshed, such as I never saw in all the land of Egypt for badness. And the lean and the ill-favored kine did eat up the first 7 fat kine. And when they have eaten them up, it could not be known that they had eaten them. But they were never still ill-favored, as at the beginning. Oh, and they were ever. Let me see. So they ate that. Okay, so the not be known that they had eaten them, but they were still ill-favored at the beginning. So I awoke, and I saw in my dream, and behold, 7 ears come up in one, stalk full and good. And behold, 7 ears withered thin, and blasted with the east wind, sprung up after them. And the thin ears devoured the 7 good ears. And I told this unto the magicians, but there was none that could declare it to me. And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, the dream of Pharaoh is one. God has showed Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good kine are 7 years, and the 7 good ears are 7 years. The dream is one. And the 7 thin and ill-favored kine that came up after them are 7 years, and the 7 empty ears blasted with the east wind shall be 7 years of famine. This is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh. What God is about to do, he showeth unto Pharaoh. Behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt. And there shall arise after them 7 years of famine. All the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land, and the plenty shall not be known in the land by the reason of that famine following, for it shall be very grievous. And for that the dreams were doubled unto Pharaoh twice. It is because the thing is established by God, and God will shortly bring it to pass. Now, therefore, let Pharaoh look out a man discreet among and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years, and let them gather all the food of the good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities, and that food shall be for store to the land the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish not through the famine. And the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh, and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said unto his servant, can we find such a one as this, a man whom the Spirit of God is? And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, for as much as God hath showed thee all of this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art. Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in throne will I be greater than thou. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, see, I have set thee over the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand, and put it upon Joseph's hand, and arrayed him in vestures of fine linen, and put a gold chain around his neck. And he made him to ride in the 2nd chariot which he had, and they cried before him. They bowed down the knee, and he made him ruler over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without thee shall no man lift up thy hand or foot in all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zephanethah, and he gave him a wife, Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, the priest of On, and Joseph went out over all the land of Egypt. And Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And Joseph went out. He went out from the presence of Pharaoh and went throughout all the land of Egypt. And in the 7 plenteous years, the earth brought forth by handfuls, and he gathered up all the food of the 7 years which were in the land of Egypt, and laid up the food in the cities, the food of the field which was round about every city, laid he up in the same. And Joseph gathered the corn as the sand of the sea, very much until he un left none being, for it was without number. And Joseph were born 2 sons before the years of famine came. And after Asenath, I can't read this, you all, Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, bare unto him. And then this is what happened, you all. Let me see. I can't not hardly read this, you all, with these glasses like this. I want to finish reading that. It's just a little bit more. Tells you what's happening with it, with this dreams. These dreams are, there's something about the dreams. They specifically spoke of it. It happened back then. Let's see if we can get this, you all. So, yeah, I don't like to strain my eyes reading this, and that's exactly what I'm finding myself is doing. Straining my eyes trying to read it. So he had a son, and Joseph called the name, the firstborn, Manasseh, for God said that he hath made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. And the name of the second son he called Ephraim, for God caused me to be fruitful in the hand of my affliction. And the 7 years of plenteous that was in the land of Egypt was ended, and the 7 years of dearth began to come, according as Joseph said. And the dearth was in all lands, but in all the land of Egypt there was bread. And when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread. And Pharaoh said unto all the Egyptians, Go unto Joseph what he saith you to do. And the famine was over all the face of the earth. The famine was on the face of the earth. And Joseph opened all the storehouses and sowed unto the Egyptians. And the famine waxed sore in the land of Egypt. And all countries came unto Egypt to Joseph to buy corn, because that the famine was so sore in all the land. So the whole entire earth was covered in famine, you all. The whole earth. That's Genesis. I'm going to get to it. Let me just fold this up. I'm having a hot flash, you all. Got to get this Bible closed. It's very old. You can see it right here. Let me put this like this for a sec. Let me show it like this. Let me see if I can zoom up over here. I got to go get this. I got it in a white cloth, this Bible. It is. I'm turning it back around to me. So that's what it is. It's famine. But there was something about the dreams That's when I woke up. I got up out of bed, and that dream was brought back. It's very old. I found it on the side of the road um, last year. It was in perfect condition. I found that on the side of the road. And I found a wheelchair, a potty chair, a vacuum cleaner, and a bread maker, and a walking stick. I found those items on the side of the road when we was coming back from hiking in Indiana. My husband and my daughter, we drove by it, and I said, I'm going to go back and get it. So that's what I found. Those three conditions, those three things. Found this old Bible, which is 1611 on one side. And I found this. I can have a drink of water. So these are the items. They might be significant because I found them all together. The old Bible, a vacuum cleaner that was completely clogged. I had to work on it. It didn't work. I had to clean it out. A potty chair, a wheelchair like thing. I mean, it had the wheels on it with the handles that you pushed and you could sit. Found that. And a bread maker and a walking stick. I found those items all together on the side of the road. And a table, a small oak table, like an end table, square with spindles around the top of it. Those were the items that I found. So dreams, there's something with the dreams, and dreams are very significant. You'd ask yourself, why was there so much focus on a dream itself? You all, because we're all having dreams. It's 2 a.m. in the part of the world where you're at. The dreams are increasing, but in that instance, that was, just think it was a famine in the whole entire land. And the magicians could not even interpret it. You couldn't interpret it. Dreams can serve as warnings, but then our dreams feel like they're getting hijacked, you all. Oh, I was awake off and on. I was so exhausted when I went to bed. You didn't see me do another video last night after I was on my front porch. I went to bed afterward. I was so exhausted. I don't know if I even ate. No, I didn't eat. I ate my supper. I might have stayed up for, I don't know, 40 minutes, and then I went to sleep. So it's 4:30 in the morning. Yeah. Yeah, I think dreams have been hijacked. I do. But in that case, that actually happened with that. So what is the what are the chances? Think about it. Finding this Bible, it's very fragile. It looked like it had never been opened. Finding this Bible on the side of the road, they just left it there. A bread machine, a potty chair, a walker thing with wheels to where you could sit down, a vacuum cleaner that was completely clogged up, and a walking stick and a table, a small oak table. The items must be significant at this period right now in this timeline of Earth, because they just feel it's significant. or I wouldn't have remembered it just now. You get hot flashes in 75. Yeah. Certain emotions or thoughts within my being will cause me to have a hot flash. They don't just come all the time. I had to have a certain emotion or feeling. They're hijacked. Yours make no sense, and you can't even remember them. Well, I didn't like mine last night. And I thought, why are you giving me a dream like that? I did not like it. Um, yeah. Am I going to dwell on that dream? No. I'm not going to dwell on it. Excuse me. I'm so sorry for yawning. Yeah. Red clover leaf for hot flashes. If anybody gets hot flashes, if you have like sweating fits and stuff, she's put in there what can help with it. Oh wow, Sherry, that's synchronicity. You just talked to your friend about the story of Joseph and you popped up. God is talking to you. The bread of life, the bread machine, the walking sticks makes me think. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the clogged vacuum cleaner didn't work. No, couldn't clean nothing. It was all clogged up. I unclogged it. It took me, it took around an hour to get that, and it was new. It was a new one, but completely clogged up and filthy, and they just threw it out too. It's okay. It works now. It can clean. The bread machine worked too, because I made bread in it. And the walker thing, my stepdad had to use it when he had a car wreck. And the walking stick, well, it was purple, like a bluish purple. I thought, this is perfect. It's my size. And the table, it's up in the she shed. It's being used too. Yeah. Um, you have hot flashes with stress and spice. Cat hair. What about cat hair? Yeah, it had some cat hair in it too. It had all kinds of stuff in it. And dust, and I don't know what they were doing. And it didn't smell good, but I got it. You're in San Diego, San Diego earlier, 2 a.m. here, but finished working on stuff. Wow, Eve. You're 50 and it's a tough time, gals. It is. It seems like women in their 50s, you have a wake-up call. It's time to wake up. Is what it means. It's time to wake up. Yeah. Coffee sounds kind of good right now, if it wouldn't make me nauseous. I'm thinking if I drank some, I might get nauseous. Yeah. Yes, the color of it. It was like brand new. I thought, that's fine. I'm going to keep it because I'm going to probably need it. So, yeah. Flying dreams are awesome, you all, but really, the famine was in the whole entire land. The whole earth was covered in famine. And they stored up their food outside along whatever, all the cities and stuff, and that was gone. And then they had to come into Egypt. Well, and then that's how it all started. Started with the famine. Yeah. A few hours ago, the end of the world, and it was troubling. Well, it is kind of troubling if you think about it. I try not to think about it. All that's going on in the world. 'Cause there's a lot going on, and it's not pleasant. Sharp cheddar, Kawana from Wisconsin, Ritz crackers. That sounds really good. Dreams are confusing at times. I've had lots of dreams that have come true. Yeah, so it's not wrong to have dreams, and it's not wrong for people to interpret dreams, but they do foretell if something is to come. It's like the future sends messages. Just think, so in the future, messages are sent back in the form of dreams to warn people. So it's already happened, but they got to send a message to the past saying this is going to happen. It just ain't caught up with you yet, but you better prepare because it's coming. It's like light years away. That famine was light years away, 7 years, but it wasn't that. It was at his doorstep. It finally made it there, covered the whole entire earth. Yeah. Vonda, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. It was a spur of the moment. It's very spur of the moment. And it's the 41st chapter, I think, of Genesis, when Joseph got thrown into prison and Pharaoh had his dream. But they called the fat calves or whatever, they called them a kine, Kine. Never heard that word before, but there's lots of words that were used back then that you don't read it in the modern day translations. Yeah. Hello, you all. It was a spur of the moment. That's right. Not a, you like, no, I'm not a planner. I mean, I can plan to do things, but am I one who's going to stick to a plan? No. I'm not. If something comes up, I'm going to attend to it. I'm a multi-planner, a multitasker. I can come back to things, but yeah, I'm very spontaneous in that nature. If I feel led within my spirit to do a video, I'm going to do it. I'm going to drop everything, and it doesn't care what I really look like for the most part. I'll drop everything and do a video if I feel it's important, and it was important because it was about dreams and the famine and the whole entire land, the whole earth. It covered the whole earth. How could the whole earth, how big was the whole earth back then? You are really, I love you too. How big was the whole earth back then? It had to be pretty, it had to come from all over the earth into Egypt. And Egypt had enough grain, enough corn for all the people. They had bread. They had bread. And yeah, they sold all their land. They gave it all back. They gave it all. And I think that's how they got stuck in Egypt. Everybody got stuck in Egypt. Really, they did. Everybody. If it covered the whole earth. You just talked about Sherry Black. You just talked about this before you popped up. Okay, you're the second one on here who said they were just talking to that with someone else too. So yeah, God is talking to you. If I believe in synchronicity. I do, divine synchronicity, not just coincidental, because nothing happens just for a reason. No, there's always a reason why something happens. Oh, it was you. Oh, that it's okay. It's early. It's early. Yeah, it's early. You are. That's right. You are. That's right. This is what we got. Found it on the side of the road last year. And beside it was a bread machine, a potty, a handicap like potty or something, a walker which had handles on it and a seat, and it was had brakes on it too, a vacuum cleaner, and a table on the side of the road. So I just wipe it up in this white cloth and keep it stored away. Oh, excuse me, you all. I'm going to, you'll never forget the traffic light. There was a massive all-engulfing planet sun right in front of me, and it was all gone. And you felt joy. That's wonderful. Yeah, only reason. So I am going to go, you all. It's long enough, but dreams. Our dreams look like they feel like they've been hijacked, but a lot more people are having a lot more vivid dreams. And some are having different experiences in their dreams, but there's something about dreams. I mean, we can pay attention to them. You know, the ones that don't make sense, but then mine last night was not a nice dream at all. It was not. And I thought, you're not going to touch me. You may be getting these other people, but you're not going to touch me. And these beings went after everyone who was eating, everyone who was eating food. There's blood all over the place, all over the place. But they didn't touch me because I knew what they were attracted to. All the people they were targeting, it was what they were eating. And they even stood right next to me but did not touch me. And I walked away from them. I did, walked away from them. And some others were with me. They caught on too, and they walked away from them also. They couldn't touch them because we knew what we shouldn't do. But yeah, then it reminded me of, that's why I read that in the Bible. The story of Joseph in the land of famine, the land of plenty and the land of famine. And it covered the whole earth. First they said the land, then they said the famine was over the whole earth, and everybody came into Egypt, and they gave up everything. So I'm going to go, you all. Thank you for tuning in, and yes, it's tainted. So that's me. With that being said, hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello. From my heart to yours, love you. Have a wonderful rest of your morning. If you need to go to sleep, I hope you have sweet dreams, beautiful dreams. And if your dreams are to tell you something, I hope that they tell you what you need to know. Love you.